It's about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Welcome to this week's Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver and Tiffany Stone coming at you from the SEMA Show floor and the Vision Wheel booth. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be one hell of an epic show today. We got Rob Keegan Kincaid, my good friend Samantha, or Sam Rady, with the Car Throttle on the line. Well, I should say on the line. They're going to be here in the flesh at the SEMA Show. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is a Halloween special edition, going to be dropping on Halloween Day. And because of that, we do have an extra special guest joining Tiffany Stone and I. I did pre-tape this interview, but Darkness Dave Schrader. That is right, one of the world's foremost experts on paranormal activity. He is joining us on the show. So we're going to roll through Rob Keegan Kincaid and Sam Rady here at SEMA and the Vision Wheel booth. And then we've got that extra special interview with Darkness Dave coming at you here at the end of the show. And let me tell you, when I did this interview with Darkness Dave, literally gave me goosebumps. I think you guys are definitely going to enjoy that. You're going to enjoy this show. Man, being at the SEMA Show 2018, doing a live taping here, nothing is better than that. So we're going to roll into some of these interviews with myself and Tiffany Stone. We're going to get her seated here in a second and roll into some of these interviews, and we'll be pausing in between. We'll probably throw a little segue in between with some of our pre-cut audio or something like that. But, yeah, we're just going to roll through these raw, uncut, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun with these amazing Vision Wheel athletes here at the SEMA Show. Before we get to that, make sure and follow me at Jim Beaver 15 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Got a Facebook group. It's Down and Dirty Show, or a Facebook group at Jim Beaver Down. What is it? I'm saying all this, I'm stumbling here. It is Jim Beaver's Action Motorsports Discussion on Facebook, and we've got a second Instagram account at Down and Dirty Show. If you haven't subscribed to the Down and Dirty Radio Show yet, please go and do so right now over on iTunes. Also, I got another show, Project Action. It's going to be on iTunes as well. And I got to tell you, my family of networks is expanding, or my network is expanding. We are bringing in my good friend. She was a guest last week. Boom, her podcast is on the network this week. Kelly Crandall with Racer Magazine. She has a NASCAR podcast called the Racing Riders Podcast. That is going to be found right on the Down and Dirty Radio Show's feed and our website as well. So if you like NASCAR, some of you have been asking for it. We're not going to cover it anymore. Any more of it on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, but we will be covering it with a new show with Kelly Crandall, and she can talk NASCAR way better than I can. So thank you guys for the continued support. We'll keep bringing the best in motorsports, entertainment, personalities, you name it, we are going to bring it. If it's got 4 wheels and tire smoke or 2 wheels and dirt, you guarantee your ass we're going to have it on the show. So just fair warning, there might be a few 4-letter words in this one. This is podcast. This isn't going to national syndication, so we are going to have a ton of fun with it. I love doing shows like that, and you guys are really going to benefit because we're in the mood to do some radio. Thanks to everybody who supported us at the Off-Road Hall of Fame. I was fortunate enough to be able to host that last night. And, man, what an amazing night. If you guys haven't been to an Off-Road Hall of Fame banquet, it was me and about 600 of my closest off-road friends. We inducted some amazing Hall of Famers, gave out a ton of awards, and I think you guys would definitely enjoy it. If you listen to the show, you damn sure will enjoy it. So if you're going to SEMA next year, come in a day early. Boom, go to the Off-Road Hall of Fame banquet on Monday night of SEMA week. It's become a staple, and it does not disappoint. All right, before we get to these amazing interviews, we got Rob Mack waiting in the wings here. We are going to tell you about some of our amazing partners on the show, and one of those is my good friends over there at Go Parts. And you know what? If you're still driving to the auto parts store, you're doing it all wrong and you're paying way too much. I've discovered GoParts.com, and I'm saving a ton of money on parts, and believe me, you know, I go through a ton of auto parts. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jim, they're online. How's the customer service? Well, I had the same concerns until I used them. Believe me when I tell you, their service is second to none. In fact, 9 out of 10 customers polled said they would not only use Go Parts again, they'd also recommend Go Parts to their friends and family. Look, they've been around for more than a decade, so when you use them, they know what they're doing. It's Go Parts. This is why we wrench. That's go-parts.com. Go-parts.com. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. Check out my website. We got a link there. You get a nice bonus, actually a nice discount when you use Go Parts. So, yeah, we are going to run through a nice little pre-packaged advertising segment here, and then we're going to roll right into some of these interviews with Vision Wheel, this Halloween special edition from SEMA right now. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you, but you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of re-prep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob MacCachren, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out VisionWheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 Mud Terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports. Beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems, KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
All right, I'd like to welcome Mr. Rob MacCachren to the Vision Wheel booth here at SEMA. You have had, I don't know, this is the start of a hell of a month, but you're just coming off, a Pro 2 championship. Congratulations on that, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was really good to get the Lucas Oil Championship put away for Pro 2. We started off real strong, had 4 out of the first 5 wins of the year, and the end of the year we started struggling, having some issues, had a big crash at Glen Helen, and that ended up making my guys work really hard for the last 4 to 6 weeks, getting the Pro 2 all put back together to finish out the season. And then also we got the Baja 1000 coming up, got trophy truck qualifying tonight, and, it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, well, and I know I was pretty stoked when we were out there. You and I ran into each other at Camp Razor. You snuck out there with your son. It was like, there's not often these days. I know you and I were talking where you get to actually just go and have a good time and no worries, no commitments, just go and just have fun with your son, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Camp Razor was awesome. It was really something I wanted to do for quite a few years, go out there. These razors that we have, we end up having just so much fun out there with them. I really didn't have time to go, but I needed to make time, and it was a good time with me and my son. Got to go out there and hang out with some of the other Polaris Razor athletes and shoot up through the dunes and have a good time.
Yeah, so that being said, I know, we're kicking off SEMA week here. Man, this is, I look at the schedule, or I should say I look at the schedule, but then I also look at the list of entries. And, Baja, that's the big one to you guys. You and the Baja 1000, you always say that's your focus every year going into the year, And obviously I think you've got Voss teaming with you, right? You guys are kind of the team to beat. You've had a pretty good track record as of recently down there in Baja.
Yeah, we are teamed up again with Jason Voss. We won in 14 with him and Andy McMillan. 15 with Andy McMillan, and we got Jason Voss back in 16. 17, we didn't have so much luck, got halfway through the Peninsula run, ended up having some valve train failure. But, we prepare for the Baja 1000 pretty much when the Baja 1000's over. From the year before, you start preparing for next year. And, the logistics is just an incredible thing to try to get down. We'll have this year probably 80, 85 people on our team that'll be down there either in the pit, chasing. Jason Voss will bring some of his guys, some of his chase trucks. So I'm looking, having 4 fuel stops. We'll have about 12, 13 chase trucks, it looks like, that'll be chasing us around the peninsula. The track looks good, and I can't wait to get down there and pre-run. Baja is always one of my favorite places, and we'd love nothing more to try to get another win.
Yeah, well, and one thing, it was funny talking with Keegan, and this is like your program as a whole. You guys are so busy between Lucas Oil and the Score and the Best in the Desert stuff that you do. In talking with Keegan, we were talking about me. Like, I would love to go short course racing, but I told him, I'm like all my infrastructure is for the desert. Like, to go short course racing, man, it's like you got to rebuild an entire second program. I look at a guy like you. Man, you've got so much equipment, so many guys spread. I'm sure certain weekends you got guys on one end of the West Coast and other end of the West Coast. I mean, how do you guys keep that all together with MacCachren Motorsports, man? Because it's, I know you've got a core group of guys, and those guys must just be hustling, and pinned most of the year.
Yeah, they've since Glen Helen and the TJ race. We raced the Score TJ race. By winning San Felipe and the Baja 500, that put us in the points lead. Last year we were leading the points as well going into the Score TJ race. We didn't go. So this year I thought, hey, let's try to get another championship and trophy truck. Maybe we could do the two, get a Pro 2 and a trophy truck. Got the Pro 2 out of the way, and that really put my guys in a bind. And then crashing, like I said, the Pro 2 at Glen Helen, they've been working 12, 14 hours days straight since it's been almost 6 weeks now. We got a bunch of vehicles here on display. We got my Polaris Razor here in the Vision booth. My Pro 2 will be outside in the Makita booth. We got the trophy truck coming up here this morning. And later this week, we'll have the Pro 2 out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway at the discount tire function with Vision Wheel as well. But, yeah, I do. I mean, luckily, my better half, Amber, does a lot of the planning, the preparation, logistics, motel rooms. In Baja this year, we have 9 different hotels with 7 different reservations. Excuse me, it's the other way around. 7 different hotels with 9 different reservations, moving people around. So, trying to figure out who's staying where. Stay in Ensenada on Wednesday night. You're in San Felipe Thursday night, and then on the way home from chasing, you're staying in El Rosario. So, it's just all that moving and shaking with the people, and then also making sure that everybody's on board. Thankfully in off-road, we know it's such a great community. It's family, friends. A lot of diehard people that love doing it. So thankfully for that, it really helps me have that many people to support our team to go down there and try to win a Baja 1000.
Yeah, well, and talking about Baja, and, Tiff, you can chime in here anytime you want. She's taking it all in here. We got Tiffany.
Actually, my big question is just hearing Rob talk about all these different series, all these different classes, all these different things. Really, what if you weren't doing that, like what's one class, one series that you kind of want to dabble into that you're not really familiar with, but it's like, hey, I've seen these guys, because I just went wheeling, I was telling you, with the Trail of SEMA guys, and that's intense there, and that's such a different thing. But what's something that you kind of want to dabble into that you haven't yet, though?
Yeah, everybody always asks me, when are you going to go do Dakar? And typically, I'd love to go do that, but also, I want to do it with a good effort. I want to go there to try to finish well, and it's no easy task. The budgets that I hear, that are over there with the winning teams are pretty incredible. So, I really stay focused on doing what I do, the desert stuff, the short course stuff. Again, dabbling with the Razors. I'm getting closer and closer to racing one. Try to get my son out here before the year's up to do that. And also, the King of the Hammers, you just mentioned wheeling. And, I've been playing with that, driving with other people. Greg Adler, drove with him a few times. The Poison Spider guys, Larry McRae, I've done that. This year, Dave Cole at King of the Hammers will have the trophy trucks there. They have $100,000 to win. Pretty incredible race there on Thursday. So, I've never had my own program for King of the Hammers, and I usually feel like I've been pretty successful when I've ran my own team in whatever organization it is. So, that is on my horizon. Maybe is to focus on maybe trying to put something together to race in the Ultra 4 Series, or at least go to King of the Hammers and try to finish up on the podium. That'd be pretty incredible. I say an analogy I have between the Baja 1000 and the King of the Hammer race is at the Baja 1000 you have thousands of things that can get you during the race. At King of the Hammers, there's millions of things. At going 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, whatever it may be, trying to go up a sledgehammer, one of the trails, there's so much to look at, so much to comprehend, so many rocks and mistakes and choices that you have to make that just one wrong mistake and you're tipped over, or you're too hard on the drivetrain or spindles or things like that. So, I give a lot of credit to those guys that have won the King of the Hammer race. To me, that's definitely, for me, that's a way tougher feat to win a Baja 1000.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, I know a lot of people, too, they immediately, you've got an off-road program in short course desert. You talk about KOH, and immediately people, always go, well, when are you going to go to Crandon? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? How come you're not at that race? And I know you, you're a guy that very much your program's run in the black. You make a living at it. You're not one of those guys that has a job that pays you $1 million a year where you can go and on the weekends hobbyist and go and race. Not to say they don't have professional efforts. It's just a different business model. When you look at things like KOH, you've got to make a business case for these things. It's not just Rob going, hey, I'm just going to go because I want to go.
Yeah, exactly. I started off racing. I think they told me at the at the Lucas Oil Awards banquet that Ken Stout said, Rob MacCachren, you've been racing for 37 years. And I'm like, I have? Like, really? I had no idea. If you tell me 30, okay, yeah, maybe. I've been doing it a long time. But, fortunate, I started off with my family, racing with my dad and him teaching me the ropes and actually making me work on the race car and, really always work within a budget. First 4 or 5 years racing. And then I started driving for Walker Evans and ended up signing a contract with them, walked away. The next day they called me back and they said, hey, we forgot to tell you we're going to pay you to race. And I'm like, wow. Like, I didn't say, oh, it's okay. I'm like, wow, I'm going to get paid to race. So I did that for a few years, and the Rough Rider program come around in 1991 and started getting a little bit bigger paycheck. And when that Rough Rider program kind of went away in 96, I started my own team in 97. And that's where it became like, wow, I better pay attention. And you hear the old sayings, in racing, if you want to become a millionaire, you better start off with multi-millions. Yeah. So, and a good friend of mine back in the day, Butch Arciero Racing, he came up to me one day when he found out I had my own team. He said, congratulations, good luck. And he goes, you got to be really careful what you do because you can go in the hole real quick with that. So thankfully, I've been able to keep it. Another saying my parents taught me, keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. And, try to stay within my means, the money that I have. And, at times it's frustrating because I'm not able to go out and get anything and everything that I want. I can see what I feel I need and maybe I can't afford that. But on the other hand, it's makes it very rewarding when you are winning and you're doing well competing against people that have bigger budgets. I enjoy it. It's definitely rewarding to try to compete with people with more money and we'll just keep working at it. And I love doing what I'm doing. And what do they say? If you love doing what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. So
Wait. But I actually heard a revised version of that. If you love what you're doing, you're going to work every single day of every single moment because you want to build your brand.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. It's
that's a good one.
It is because it's like if you love it, then you just want more and you want to be better.
Yeah.
And then when you are your own brand, it's just like, okay, what can I do? What can I build? Same thing with you, Jim. It's just, okay, I accomplished this. I want this. But now I want this. And now how do I get that? And
yeah,
that's what I heard. It's like, but I think I work every day of all day because my mind's always going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you see something and like you said, you see what you want, and then you figure out a way that, hey, this is how we're going to go out and get it. Yeah. So speaking of that, I got to say, talking about budgets and things like that, I know it's been, me and talking with a lot of the other guys in the trophy truck community. I mean, this all-wheel drive thing is kind of becoming a big deal, and you've been highly successful with your truck. And, as you said, I don't want to call a trophy truck simple, but I look at some of these new all-wheel drive systems and sequential gearboxes, and, I mean, I've heard $2+ million into Bryce's build and things like. You hear the same stuff I do. I mean, where do you think this class is going, Rob? I mean, because I can see this thing spiraling out of control really quick, and then you and I both know. I mean, a $300,000-$400,000 truck, Rob Mack can afford that. A lot of guys can. Yep. Even talking to Jesse Jones, who's pretty wealthy, he goes, "Dude, I can't be involved in $2 million+ truck builds." He's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I get that question. It's coming up even more so since Bryce almost finished and won Vegas to Reno, and then you had Kristen Serapis with the Mason truck winning there at Laughlin. And, whether it's my son or other people asking me, they're like, well, when are you going to go to all-wheel drive? And I say, my story goes back, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We had an all-wheel drive come out. He won a couple races. Most of the races when he won, I don't know that he was running 100%. In off-road racing, when they throw the green flag, I'm not driving at 100%. Right? I'm saving it.
Yeah.
So if I'm in an all-wheel drive, I'd kind of be doing the same thing. So it really all gets down to the end of the race, who's got the best equipment to go for it right at the end. Well, what percentage of the time is the all-wheel drive truck not in there? So you have to be a player at the end to win the race. So at this point, I'm keeping it simple, stupid. And, right now I'm sticking with the two-wheel drive, but I am concerned because, once they start becoming reliable and getting consistent finishes, then it almost appears, and there becomes enough of them. That's another part. You do have to have a little bit of quantity of them, so where they can actually maybe possibly win, each and every race. And when that happens, I've already been wondering, and hey, how do I approach my sponsors and basically tell them, hey, our budget's double. We're gonna, if you want to keep seeing me with the same results, winning races overall, you basically need to double the budget. It's a difficult pill to swallow, a different thing to think about, and who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. There's at least 100 trophy trucks, if not close to 200 trophy trucks that out there that exist with owners that own them. What do they do? Do they decide they want to separate their class? Do they do they race in a different series? What happens?
Yeah.
We don't even know
No.
yet. So at this point, back to like 2 years ago when it was first starting to come to fruition, like it could be possible that you'd have to go to one. I said, we got to wait. So now 2 years has gone by, and I'm still waiting, but it is getting closer.
Yeah, its day is definitely coming. But day coming, we got Baja 1000 qualifying, and then Baja. I mean, take us through the next couple of weeks. Obviously, qualifying tonight. What's it going to take to put it on? Put it up front. What is a good qualifying spot for Baja? And then going into the race, how's things going to split up with you and Jason?
Yeah. For me, I don't really ever want to start first on the road, especially in Baja.
Right?
Yeah, especially when it starts out at Ensenada. San Felipe's not so bad, but just starting out at Ensenada, all the great fans that are down there are trying to find their good spectating spot, and a fair amount of times you'll find them on the course. So, I shoot for when they throw the green flag for qualifying, I mean, I go for it, and then 2 years ago I ended up second. Baja 500, we ended up starting first on the road, and it worked out for us. We still won the race, but, ultimately I like, I don't want to be first, second, third, fourth. I always say, third or fourth is fine. I'm happy with that. He lets you settle in the pace. You don't have to set the pace. You don't have to, right from the start line, always be worrying, are they catching me? So that's what I think. The short course track that we're qualifying on tonight should be, we've been doing it for the last few years, and I've been around the track quite often. So we do pretty good there, and we will have all-wheel drive trucks there, and I think it'll be hard to beat those guys.
Yeah.
Bryce and Matney. Those guys would probably be tough to beat. Robbie Gordon, obviously, he's really fast on the short course track. So, I think things should fall right into place, and I'm hoping to qualify third or fourth.
Awesome. And, talking about the race, how's the split?
Oh, yeah.
You're going down pre-running. You teaming with Jason. Obviously, you guys want to be on top of the box once again. How's race day going to plan out?
Yeah, really the logistics and stuff is still coming together. I mean, I always, once, Jason agreed to race with me throughout the year, I keep asking me, all good, everything's up to par, we'll do it. So, that's all confirmed. Jason will race with me. I'm going to start. Typically, what happens there is he always says, I ask him, you want to start? You want to qualify? He goes, no, it's your truck. You qualify. You do that. And then how far do you want to drive? And he's like, I don't care. You just decide. So at this
that's
point.
That's Jason, though. That's Jason. It's easygoing dude.
Yeah, he's really good to work with. His team's top-notch. Everybody that they have there. His dad definitely wants to win really bad. James East, their main guy, and all the volunteers and people that they have are top-notch people. So, we're still trying to decide exactly where we're going to do driver change. But I'll definitely start. He'll finish. And, hopefully we can redeem ourselves from last year, blowing a motor up. Or having a drivetrain failure and try to at least get back to the finish line. So it's my first overall Baja 1000 was in 2007. That race ended in Cabo. I raced with Mark Post and Carl Renezetter. And I wasn't in the truck at the finish line, but I was standing there watching it come down the wash to the finish line. I can tell you, it's like the hair rose up on my arms, just the feeling what that was like winning that race. And I wanted to do it so bad, and it took all the way from 7 all the way to 14 to do it again. But once you get that feeling, or once I've got it, it's like, man, I got to have that. It's like nothing else gives me that feeling. We just came off a Pro 2 championship. You win, if you win a cup race, you win Baja 500. No, that's nothing compared to the feeling that I got winning the Baja 1000. So you want to get it done again, and hopefully we can get it done this year.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Rob. I know it's busy. You got qualifying tonight. Good luck, my friend, and we'll definitely chat soon.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, we just, if you hadn't realized this, if you're listening in, this is kind of pre-taped. So we just paused because Tiffany Stone and Keegan had a good conversation going on. I literally cut you guys off. Welcome to the show, Keegan Kincaid. Obviously, Tiffany Stone's here with me. But we're talking about Keegan and his lack of having a good time at SEMA so far.
I know. I said, he's like, I'm losing my voice. I'm like, why? Did you already party? He's like, no, I went to bed early. Did you? And I said, no, I don't drink anymore. But I still gambled. I'm up $325 so far.
Tiffany Stone parties. She just parties without alcohol. She's like one of the few people that can pull it off.
I do. Yeah. I had so much fun. We went, it's like Hofbräu House or something, that German bar that's over here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hogs and Heifers. I'm like,
I did go to Hogs and Heifers with Ian Johnson.
Yeah, Keegan just laughs when we start talking Hogs and Heifers. You've been there, I know.
Oh, no. Not guilty.
Keegan has no idea. Keegan is, like, probably being the most perfect, like, husband and dad right now because Catherine's at home. He is doing nothing.
Especially because she's listening to this, probably.
Yeah.
He's being good, Catherine.
No, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Getting Keegan a little mic'd up here.
Now he looks like an astronaut.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, we are here at Seaman Keegan. Seaman Keegan. This is, yeah, you know what's funny here? Is we were, like, all total serious with Rob Mac, and now we've got Keegan. It's like, dude, shit just hit the fan.
It's like the old Mitch Guthrie story.
Yeah. Oh, God. You know Mitchie. Do you know Mitch Guthrie Jr.? So we're sitting there, her and I.
At Mint 400.
At Mint 400, we're doing radio with Polaris, and Mitchie walks up.
He has this package of underwear that says My Package, and we're like, that's the brand name. It says My Package. I was like, why are you holding your package in your hand? And there's just innuendos, and the jokes just kept going and going and going to the point where we were talking about it again. Yeah. And he's like, why are you talking about this? And we're like, because it was funny. Maybe it's just a Vegas thing.
Yeah, I told him, I'm like, Mitchie, every time I think or see you from now on, I'm going to think about your package. Mitchie's just like, dude, he's like, we're like 5 minutes into this interview. We hadn't talked about anything. And Mitchie's just like, dude, he's like, I just don't even want to do this interview anymore. Tiffany and I are just cracking up.
Oh, man.
It's good to have fun.
He's like red-faced, and like anytime you get Mitchie red-faced. Oh, yeah. He was like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're at the SEMA Show with Keegan Kincaid at the Vision Wheel booth. You guys, you wrapped up the season at Crandon, right? So you've just been.
Yes, we went to the 4x4 in Indianapolis for the Jamboree for Vision, and had a good time. We did some demos there. That was my first 4x4 Jamboree since, I think, the core days.
Yeah, I heard
maybe.
you were like a celebrity there or something. Rhett was telling me. I can't remember the title they gave you. What?
Yeah, the Grand
Marshal. You were the Grand Marshal of the 4x4 Jamboree?
Yeah, and I almost got to do the wet T-shirt contest
Ooh.
to be the judge for it, but I thought better. I'm a better half. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said he was going to do it.
Grand Marshal, the hillbillies there had to have a blast with you.
Yeah.
Drinks flowing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a good time. We got to hang out all day. I think we did 3 demos a day, and so it was fun. We got to burn some tires off and put on a show for the crowd, so it was fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's a whole different crowd at those jamborees, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they burn more gas just going around in a circle. We'll probably see Tiff there next year.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go.
I don't know. Their tires aren't big ugh. You gotta have
I only got 35. So.
No, you got to at least have 40-plus
12-inch lift on there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I got a 2-inch lift.
You got to up your game here, Tiff.
Yeah. I am, but then if I up my game, my off-camber will push me off some mountains when I go. You can't. The 2-inch lift is big enough.
Yeah, with the high offsets. Vision can
it's all about the looks. Why are you talking function? You go into the Jamboree, it's all about the looks.
Yeah, but I also want a functioning Jeep, too, that won't knock me off a mountain.
See, that's why you and the Jamboree aren't a good fit.
Yeah. No, me and Easter Jeep Safari are a great fit together.
Yeah. So that happened. Now we're here at SEMA. What are you doing? Just hanging out with Vision Wheel, trying to, find some money to go racing next year with talking to companies and stuff?
Yeah, we're hanging out with Vision Wheel this week. I brought the Pro 2 out. We're going to be putting on display out at the Speedway with Discount Tire, and just having fun the rest of the week. So not too much obligations, just get to come hang out, do some business relations stuff, and have fun.
Just party.
And party.
Partially.
Yeah.
It's Halloween tomorrow, Fremont Street.
Yeah, Keegan is going to have one drink every evening, and that's it. He's going to go to bed, be in bed
it's
by 8:30,
going to be the largest 52-ounce drink that he could find on the strip with the largest straw.
That should be our goal next year. We're going to do this thing. We'll get the camera. You, me, and Keegan, we just got to get this done. We'll get Vision to sponsor because Rady will get it behind this.
Yeah.
We
are going to go on a quest with a video camera to find the biggest beer in all of Las Vegas.
Not beer, just alcoholic beverage.
Biggest drink,
the biggest
cup, whatever.
Drink we can find.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it isn't the biggest, we got to drink that one first.
But I don't drink, so I will videotape for you guys.
Tiff film specialist.
I am. I will do that.
We've got to do this though. Like we can get Rhett and Todd involved.
Yeah.
They would be behind this.
We should. We should
find the biggest alcoholic drink in all of Las
SEMA
Vegas.
behind the scenes.
SEMA behind the seams?
Yes, he almost pulled at me.
Siemens.
What is the deal here with SEMA? Yeah, I don't know. God, we getting the snorts, man. T-Stone is on a roll today.
Oh man.
God, you gotta love.
But see, this is what happens when you hang out with no sleeve Keegan Kincaid at group therapy.
Oh, group therapy was rowdy. How much money did you drop into that punching bag?
Because I dropped some in there, too.
I don't really want to talk about it.
I threw $10 in there at one point.
I threw 20.
I think I had probably over 100 in that thing.
Do you know that I was standing up with my purse? Do you guys remember I'd stand up with my purse, just walk up and just punch it like this, and it would be like, it would just go up to like 700, and no dude would punch it after me because I was holding my purse and just went bloop.
I know Todd hit it one time, and I think he was out of commission for the next couple weeks. So
pulled a muscle.
Yeah.
We had so much fun that night. I don't know what it is about group therapy.
Sleeveless Sundays.
But remember, I told you I came with no sleeves, the shoulders, so I hid them so I would not have no sleeves.
Well, it's funny too because the next morning we flew out of Green Bay and it was like a 9:30 flight. It wasn't super early, but you got to drive pretty early to get to Green Bay. And R.J. Anderson shows up. And like 5 minutes after me to the airport, and it was like full on, like he was a walking corpse.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Sunday usually catches up with you. Yeah,
it does. I mean, I didn't drink that night, and I still had a really good time watching everybody else get wasted.
Yeah.
So, I know Lucas Oil, we can talk about that. The schedule came out yesterday. I'm Midwest short course and then, West Coast. What's obviously we've been talking Pro 2. You're going to be back in Pro 2. What's the plans for you guys next year with the program, with the Pro 2? I mean, obviously, I know you'd like to do a few of the West Coast events, I'm sure, too. I mean, what's the, if you can, I know you got that other engine sitting there, so.
Yeah, that's our goal is to get the Pro 4 out and run some Lucas Oil West Coast races. But we've just been busy actually just getting the race truck ready to come out to SEMA here. We're going to take it back, strip it down, redo the Pro 2, and start getting the Pro 4 ready to hopefully hit the track at Wheatland. That's our plan. So the dates, we're happy with them. They did a really good job of separating 2 weeks in between them and giving a lot of people, I think we talked about Ryan Beat talking about running the whole series, and
Corey Winter coming back out with a Pro 2 to the Midwest.
I think Pro 2 is going to be really strong next year and hopefully go win a championship in the Midwest series and get some Pro 4 races underneath us and have some fun. So that's our plan at the moment. We're still working on stuff. That's why we're out here at SEMA doing some communication and hopefully have some stuff settled by this fall. So
nice. Well, I don't know. You got anything for Keegan? We've gone we've been
we
all
just
over. We just wrapped up there, and it was like,
Well, I don't know how it gets any better from that.
No, seriously.
But that's what I'm saying. When you hang out with Keegan, and Keegan has poured you shots behind the bar before, it's kind of hard not to.
That's my part-time job.
It is his part-time job. He goes in there and he's like, "What do you need?" Last time I saw him holding moonshine.
What was the stuff you poured it down my throat?
Apple pie moonshine.
I think about 10 bottles that night.
Keegan walks up, Jimmy, you got to have some of this. And all of a sudden he's dumping the stuff, and I'm like, the problem is that stuff tastes so good.
Yeah.
You don't realize you're drinking alcohol.
It's okay. Keegan learned it from me about 2 or 3 years ago at the last race at the Red Barn. I had a handle of Jack, the biggest handle you could ever have. People wanted shots, so I made them get down on one knee, and then I poured it.
That was Cup race win, so that was excusable.
Yeah.
2016, we won the Cup race. And that was fun.
Partied.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, ducks, it was funny because we'd actually eaten there. I don't know, has Rhett and Todd told you about that?
Oh, yeah, your experience ducks?
Yeah, well, the
story. Oh, my goodness.
Story. So there's these two guys, and they're locals, and they decide they're going to get in a fight in ducks. And they're like, stop. So the one guy's like, I'll whoop your ass and all this other stuff. So the guy goes, all right, let's fight. So the lady's like, take it outside. Oh, we're going to fight right here. The guy goes into his back pocket, pulls out mace, and shoots the guy in the eye.
Us. Well, not us.
No, but they had to evacuate the whole bar because it was just but I'm like, who gets in a fist fight and just pulls out pepper spray and sprays in the guy's face? I'm like, that was like.
That usually don't happen in I think I warned you about ducks before.
You did warn us about ducks.
I said, when Rhett said, hey, we're going to eat at Ducks, I said, all right, I'm not going there.
They've actually got some pretty good food, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, especially Thursday's prime rib sandwich.
Ooh. Well, she was going to buy all our food and drinks. Then we started ordering more drinks, and then they just said food.
We got something free. I don't know what it was at that point.
We got sprayed.
Free pepper.
Pepper.
That was our tune-up before we went to group therapy. So. All right, Keegan. Well, awesome catching up with you as always, my friend. I'm sure we'll talk very soon. I don't know. It's like anytime we
SEMA recap.
SEMA recap.
Well, sorry.
You almost did it too.
I almost just laughed. I was going to say next year if we do the Trail to SEMA, I do want Keegan to come out for one of the legs of it. I'm going to have you come out. And then if you guys can trust me driving a Jeep down a mountain with the cliff, which is 100 feet down that way.
You got 5 points in there?
You don't need a 5-point harness. Don't even worry about that.
We're there at Crandon, and the deal wraps up, and Tiff's like, we walk up, my dad's there and everything else, and she's like, jump in. And we jump in this Jeep, and we're bombing through the back, the Ultra 4
we
course
took the Ultra 4
with Stone, and and people are like, what the hell? We pop over this thing, then we're through Jurassic Park, and it was just like,
now I have my name at Tiffany Stone on my Jeep all over because I drove it from Michigan.
You're going to be sad, though, because you actually got to get rid of this Jeep at this end of this deal, or you're going to want to buy the damn
I think
thing.
I might buy this Jeep and get a new show vehicle.
Yeah. That's a problem. You do a show vehicle and you get attached and then you buy it. That's not the way this is supposed to work, T-Stone.
I know.
That means you lose money.
Yeah.
I do, but it's like my baby. It got me through everything.
It is a rad Jeep. I'll give you credit.
Okay. You just want a poster because you don't have one.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's like saying I can't have one now. Like she's getting very.
I'm just kidding.
Very protective over
my baby Jeep over here. I don't even have a name for her yet.
So this has got to be. I don't know how many interviews you're going to do SEMA Week, but this has got to be the most interesting one.
This is for sure.
Is this your first one?
Yep.
See, first is always the best.
Absolutely.
You have to compare this to everything.
Yeah,
this is the side of Keegan they don't get to see on TV.
It's going to be a hard time explaining it to the next interview. Like, okay, this is what we talked about. Semen.
Oh God.
Okay, we got a crowd. We've actually got a crowd of people watching us now because
we're talking about.
We're lucky we don't have the big loudspeakers so everybody can listen in.
All of SEMA.
The SEMA Semen.
All right, we need to change the name of it.
Jeez, all Pete.
We've gone into the gutter, and I don't know if they're pulling us back out.
I don't think they're. Why do we want to be pulled out of it?
No, I'm good in the gutter.
It's a funny place.
I'm good in the gutter. There's lots of fun to be had when you're down in the gutter.
The thing is what is everybody thinking about? Because I wanted, Keegan, what does it mean when you're in the gutter?
Oh, man.
See?
Could be multiple things.
Yeah.
See, everybody's spectrum of what in the gutter is different, and I bet you mine's probably the worst.
Okay.
That is for the next interview. The next time we get together, to be continued, we will talk about the biggest alcoholic drinks in Las Vegas and what it means to be in the gutter.
Yes.
We should have our own podcast. Like,
we need to do a
I'm
podcast.
already thinking, like, the three of us just need, like, this monthly, like...
Ooh.
Yeah, we need to do a podcast.
Yeah, what would it be called, though?
I don't know. The three of us...
Three's a company?
The gutter.
The gutter.
The gutter. The gutter with Tiff, Tim, and Keegan. The gutter. Gutter punks. Gutter punks. I don't know.
All right, we got to think of this.
Okay, we're done.
All right, we are done. We're signing off here. But, yeah, that is something I think we ought to do, though. Seriously. We'll talk about that off air. All right. All right, signing off here with Keegan Kincaid.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast. And be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
All right, rolling with the interviews here at the SEMA Show, and we've got Sam Rady. I've always just known you as Sam, but like I get emails and it says Samantha. I feel like I don't know, is it Sam or Samantha?
I go by Sam. It's officially Samantha, but like.
Well, so I was like, that's like your parents call you Samantha, right? Type of thing.
And my cousin, but nobody else does.
I like Samantha. I think it's a great name. It's very like profound. Like, hi, I'm Samantha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think of Bewitched, right?
Ooh, yes. That's good too.
I have some talents. I can wiggle my nose.
May I see your nails, though? What?
Sure.
Oh, you put some.
I have.
You need to explain what is on your nails.
Oh,
right
you
now.
don't. Oh, you got to explain it. I've been on her nails before.
Okay, I don't know how to take that. Okay, how does this work?
Well, his car has been on my nails.
Gotcha.
So
I just say I was driving it at the time.
Yeah, you can see your face really, really small behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But I put the Polaris Razor Star Car on my nails before we did Best in the Desert last summer. And I rolled in, and I'm like, look, I have your car on my nail. He's like, what? How did you get this done?
So what's on here now?
So this is the Speed Core Charger, which is at the McGuire's booth. And I did have to get the photos under embargo. It's all carbon fiber. It's so beautiful.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to go check it. I just noticed a little bit on there.
She does like regular. Nails. It's like it's worth following her on Instagram to see what pops up on her nails because every time she goes, she gets a different car that she's like they're working with or something like that done on her nails. So
That's awesome.
Thank
it's
you.
like her. It's like her thing on Instagram, I guess.
My signature.
That's her signature.
Like my whole hashtag T-Stone approved.
Yeah. Now, T-Stone rules to live by.
They're working on that, but now I'm pushing the whole T-Stone approved.
I like that.
I'm going to start making stickers, and if I approve you, put that sticker on there, hashtag T-Stone approved.
Anyways, we're sitting here with Sam Rady. I guess you're with Car Throttle. We've had some adventures together, but I guess we should explain to everybody else. I don't know. Does anybody not know what Car Throttle is at this point? I mean, do you guys even have to, like, explain yourself? I mean, you guys are like the juggernaut in the automotive YouTube space, right? Or is there still a lot of explaining?
Not really, no. But, we have a massive following. We're the number one YouTube channel for automotive. We produce really cool build series, as well as are very strong on Instagram with 1.2 million followers. We also own WTF1, which is a motorsports racing channel, and do really cool behind the scenes with drivers, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely check us out and see some of our content, and we have a great audience.
Yeah. You're like the voice of reason in the whole Car Throttle universe, right? Like, I mean, get some of those. I don't want to call them the crazy Brits, but I don't know. Get those boys over here, and I don't know. You're like, which is funny because you have a good time too. But when you're the voice of reason, you know it's a motley crew you're dealing with.
Yeah, I think sometimes they're like, Sam, what do we do? Where do we go?
You feel like you're the mom with those guys?
Sometimes, yeah. I feel like I'm mom. I'm like, here, you guys need this. And they're like, oh, you're right, I do. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'm the one with getting, like, the truck full of water in advance of a shoot and stuff like that. But
so I know you said you literally feel like you're on the island sometimes, and you actually are in a way, because, everybody at Car Throttle is based in the UK, and you're like the lone wolf over here in the United States, right?
Yeah, correct. So, but it works out well. I've had to learn a few terms that are British.
Like slang terms. So it's not like pants, it's trousers, right?
Correct. Do not say the words pants.
Because it's like undergarments.
Correct.
Yes.
Not proper. Yes. And they say proper a lot. So, like... Did a British accent almost come out when you said proper? Maybe.
Do they really say water closet?
What is
bathrooms?
that? WC.
WC.
Yeah.
So water
the loo.
The loo.
I need to go to the loo. They say some other interesting stuff. I'm trying to think offhand, but they said like a bit, or like privy to, or
I heard twit is like you little twit, my friends, because like you little jokester or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because some of the, and we won't say them on this show. God, we're actually drawing a line today on this show. But like I know, like some of their vulgar words here are not necessarily so vulgar over there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we're not going to mention it.
No, like 4-letter words that start with a C.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it's just thrown out like whatever. And it's like here, it's like you say that and people are like, whoa, like what's going on? Like
they're not always politically correct over there as well. It's okay to be a little off the cuff. So I've learned that the British banter, like you have to make fun of your friends and your colleagues over there, and they make fun of you. So you just have to have a little bit more of like thick skin, and you can't just like go run to mom and
to mom.
To mom. There's another word, mom.
It's funny though because I learned that right away. Like with Alex, like we immediately these guys. We just started kind of cutting into each other, and that's just the way you do it. I know, like, we were joking with him at the time because he was, like, the only one without a verified account. And, like, he was really,
he still doesn't.
Yeah, and he's, like, the face of the company. He's got no verified account. Meanwhile, everybody else is verified. And, and we're, like, making fun of him that he's buying followers and all this other stuff. And he's, like, kind of, like, pissed off about it. Like, he's not, but he is. And it's, like...
Yeah.
He's still not verified. I'm going to have to text him. Like, hey, we're talking. Yeah. You're not verified yet, Alex.
Yeah.
He'd be like, go to hell, Jimmy.
Are you verified yet?
On certain platforms. Not on Instagram.
Okay.
But you can make a request to be verified. I'm not verified on anything. I'm okay with it, though.
Yeah. My big one's Facebook. I got verified there. I don't know. So
how do you get verified on Facebook?
I don't know. They sent me a message that said, we are verifying your account. And you're going to see a blue check mark. It means this and this and this. If you'd like to opt out, you can opt out. But we think your account, needs verification whatever. So I didn't opt out. Obviously, I wanted the blue check.
Yeah.
I want that blue check.
You want to get validation.
Yeah.
No, it was like I didn't do anything. I didn't have to apply. Like literally, they just sent me a message.
Did they do a whole background check on you?
Yeah,
Really?
I've got I screenshotted the message. You know what I mean? So I just had it, so I'd have it. So it's on my computer. But yeah, it was weird. So I don't know. I guess I don't know what makes you worthy of getting one.
I think it's the amount of interactions or like the algorithms that pop up if people are commenting about you or commenting on some things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're a superstar, like Kim Kardashian, they just verify you. Like,
How many? She's got like what, 200 million
Oh my
followers
gosh.
now or something? I'm gonna Google.
Why? I don't follow her.
I don't
purposely.
follow her.
I unfollowed her.
Yeah.
I've been doing the unfollowing if I don't like the content.
120 million on Instagram.
That's just bananas. Like they get paid we're all in the social media business. I mean, I get paid for certain posts. You guys get paid for certain posts at Car Throttle. Tiff, you get paid to do certain things. But hers, it's all right. So glad we weren't live here at SEMA because somebody decided to kick the power switch on all of our stuff and
we were having
over by the wall. And
we were having such a great time.
having a great conversation about social media and stuff. And Kim Kardashian and she gets like $1 million+ a post or some crap like that. So I don't know. Count me in on that.
You just gotta find a friend.
Yeah, find a rich friend that thinks my 45,000 followers are worth paying $1 million for.
Find a rich friend. Pull out your camera phone.
Yeah.
Girl, it's a photo shoot.
Yeah. So speaking of, we got to talk about cars here. I wanted to ask you a question because you're like I follow car culture in the U.S. and I get glimpses of it in Europe and things like that in the U.K. But you're knee deep in the car culture on both sides of the water here. What's the differences in United States car culture and car culture in the UK and Europe? Because I got to think you got to be pretty savvy on both sides of the pond at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because I feel like UK, they have really, really big hyper cars and really super fancy cars, especially in the streets of London. I went to Goodwood this year, which was an awesome experience, which integrates both older classic race cars and new futuristic models, and they even had the Robo race car there. But I also feel like there's the high end, and then there's also a lot of people that want older American model cars, or they want, an old VW Golf, and so you feel like they appreciate a lot of the older make models that they can work on themselves as well out there, maybe more so than the U.S. culture, because most of our culture, a lot of times, average consumer drives from point A to point B just to get to work. The enthusiast actually wants to invest money in their car that they're driving from point A to point B. But there, I feel like, at least in the London Central, they're not driving their car every day. So they're working on something that they want to invest in.
That's awesome.
They also trade cars a lot. They turn them over and sell them really fast and then buy a new one really fast.
That's awesome. Going off of that, though, if you don't mind, what has been your most favorite build or most favorite thing that you've seen come to fruition or anything like that in the U.S. or the U.K.?
I feel like we're putting you on the spot here because you're really thinking you've got the full on
you have probably so many.
There's smoke coming out of Sam's ears right now.
Damn, that's so hard.
Or what's in your top 5? We'll go top 5.
Just throw a couple of them out that are memorable, I guess, or projects or anything you've worked on.
So the funny part is I get to see a lot of the projects being done on YouTube because we do a number of really cool build series. I will say, though, they did a Jaguar mud type, and they took an X type and turned it into an off-road vehicle and more or less got it stuck in the mud. But it was so cool. They lifted the car, put bigger tires on it.
It's actually a rad build. Yeah,
Did you see it?
Yeah. You and I were talking before that thing even started, right?
Yeah.
It was actually pretty cool.
And then Alex drove it through the mud and got it all dirty, and it was awesome. But I think that was really fun because I think if you're able to take an idea and transfer it into something else, and really just tell the story around it, whether it be the process of, whether changing out. Oh yeah, exactly. Very cool.
So, yeah, we're looking at pictures. Yeah, we're going silent on air because we're actually looking at pictures of this. So sorry, you listeners. Yes,
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Definitely Car Throttle. If you're not subscribing to their YouTube channel by now or following them on social media, you need to be.
Yeah.
You guys have like your own witty humor about things. I think that's what's funny, especially like WTF1 with like IndyCar and Formula One, and like you guys just have your own certain way you do things, and and it's like I don't want to say it's not for everybody, but you're following so big, I got to think it is for everybody at this point. But it's like you just have your own spin on automotive things.
I think it's like if somebody can relate to the content, whether it means, they may never be able to do that themselves, but if they can enjoy it and get that personal connection, then they go, this is cool, I want to enjoy it. So we really try to do it through humor and comedy and really make it approachable for a person that may not even know cars or like cars. Everyone too, the super car geek that eats the stuff up and understands like when you're changing bolts or whatever it may be, geeking out on the tech component. Yeah. And I don't really have the tech background or the super focused car background, and I love this stuff, and I drank the Kool-Aid almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, you were the crazy one that left like the really good job, right? And it was like, I'm going to go to work for Car Throttle. Yeah, this is a story in itself. If you want to know somebody that got bit by the bug, like she had a legit automotive job, and it's like she threw like just like it was like caution to the wind, and it's like, I'm going to go to work for these crazy Brits, and by herself in New York, like.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's actually worked out well for you, obviously.
Yeah, no, I think I respect what a lot of the other larger media companies do, but I think what we do is be nimble and quick and do things that are a little bit more fun and, adventurous.
And relatable, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like you were, going off of that you find these people, they like it, they do that, and then I feel like, especially with your channel, it's just people have an appreciation, no matter if they like it or they don't. They appreciate that somebody took out the time, that they're doing this, and they appreciate the work that's been put into the builds itself.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
It's awesome.
Hey, look at you.
What?
Can I hire her?
Yeah,
I got bit by the bug a while ago. I got bit by wheeling, a week ago, and now I never want to give it up, and I don't want to give back the Jeep I have to buy. Yeah. So I totally understand. Like, what
is this your new Jeep?
That is my new Jeep.
Oh, so you are buying it officially? So,
I don't know.
So they give her a Jeep, and they have her do a build, and she's supposed to do a media project with it. Great, right? She falls in love with the Jeep and wants to buy it now. I'm like, Tiff, you're supposed to make money at these. You're not supposed to, lose money. But she's like, but this is my baby.
I know.
So I respect that, though. Yeah. I would probably do the same thing.
I'm totally giving her crap because it's the raddest Jeep, and I understand why she wants to buy it.
Yeah.
If you were going to buy one, it's like, why not buy this one that you built up and everything else? And, obviously, who doesn't need a Jeep?
I live in Michigan. I need a Jeep too.
Do you have a Jeep already? Or
no. This is the baby that my idea came to fruition. So that's why I'm saying going off you. When Jim's saying you got bit by the bug and you looked it, you got bit and you never looked back. I agree with you. I know what that's like. And then it's very hard to be a female that's so into automotives, especially in a male-dominated sport. And I've said this before. If you want to work in automotive and motorsports, you need to work hard. When you're female, you need to work twice as hard. Because if you want to be respected and you want to be looked at as more than as an equal, you do. And I know that you're probably very well respected in the Car Throttle world in the UK and the US. And so it's kind of cool to talk to another female that gets it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'll come work for you in Car Throttle, too. I'll just give up everything. I'll go wheeling for you guys. Do we got any off-road trails over in the UK?
They do. They have to go a little further outside London, but they do. And they actually really like off-roading stuff. Our team had a great time, Best in the Desert, and I think we just want that next opportunity to do some more off-road stuff.
We gotta have you guys back. We gotta figure something out. I don't know, in some capacity, some way, because I feel like we're just touching the tip of the iceberg. Just talking about Crandon off air, I'm like, there's so much like that, and knowing the guys that you have at Car Throttle and you in the personalities, Crandon is such an ideal fit for you guys. I'm going to seriously, you're going to get bombarded with an email from me with all these links and stuff check this out. How do we make this work?
So do we have to film it or can we actually just drive or race?
They could probably race, pay the entry fee, right?
Well, there's so many sportsman buggies and stuff like that. We could get that lined up easy.
We should get her in a sportsman side-by-side.
Yeah, we could make something happen.
Get you
Maybe my co-pilot.
Well, you don't need it for short course, but desert racing, maybe her and I will do Vegas to Reno. The longest race ever, we'll do Vegas to
You
Reno.
line that up. I will be your crew chief.
Okay. We'll figure out 2019.
Okay.
Sam and Tiffany T. Stone co-driving for Sam. Do you think we can make this happen?
Actually, you probably
I know we can make this happen.
Between
I'll find the
between
sponsor.
your following and her following, like you're like joking, and I'm like, no, this is actually really doable here.
Okay, 2019. We'll just put Car Throttle on there, and I'll just put a big T. Stone.
Yeah, there you go. Done.
Done. We're done.
What color is it?
I like black and white and red.
Okay.
I usually wear all black. If you look at my Instagram, they ask me, they're like, why do you always wear black? So
They're orange, though, so I can see a black and orange theme going on. Black and orange.
Okay.
You're black, orange, bring it together. Like, that'd be rad. Like some neon orange rims.
Ooh.
Like,
that was synchronized.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know what we're going to talk about off air. How to get us to drive. And, anybody out there, if you want Samantha or Tiffany Stone, we can drive.
Oh, yeah, is your race name Samantha? Like,
It should be Sam.
Sam.
I do have the nickname Honey Badger, though.
Ooh.
Honey Badger. That is it.
Honey Badger and T. Stone.
Oh, there you go.
We're good. We're all set for 2019 now.
You guys
only have a few months to prepare, so.
I'm just literally going to, you guys take over my race program.
That would be great.
I'll just step away.
He'll be in the trailer.
He said he'll be our crew chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
Sounds good.
All right, Sam. Well, it's always fun catching up. We could go on for days. I don't know. It's I feel like we had that deal with Keegan. Now we had Sam. I'm like, we all just need to have these podcasts that are regular.
We should.
Actually, you two could have a rad podcast together. I think, being both automotive industry people, all female, automotive podcasts. I could see that working with you two.
And only have female guests.
I've got a podcast production company. I'm doing 5 or 6 of them now. So
How do
we can call up Haley first.
Yeah.
She is here in Vegas. She was swinging some balls at Top Golf.
I'm going to Top Golf tonight.
Oh, very fun. How are you at golf?
I don't know yet.
Tell you
Good
soon.
luck.
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Good luck. Make sure somebody gets a video of that first swing.
Yeah, follow me. Find that at Tiffany Stone.
Balls there, and she's like,
You'll be like, whoa, totally missed that.
all right. Well, thank you, Sam. Always fun catching up. Thank you, Tiffany. I guess we are going to sign off here from SEMA. That is SEMA, SEMA, SEMA.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my guest this week, somebody who I guess is a fellow podcaster on Podcast One, but somebody I've wanted to catch up with for a long time, Dave Schrader. I know you've got, you've got a handful of shows. I don't know which one you want me to introduce you as, but man, I got to tell you, this is a big week for you and what you do, I guess, being Halloween week, right?
Yeah, this is, August through November is really about my busiest time because this fall season, people just love to talk about the strange and unusual and ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, psychic phenomena, monsters, myths, legends. So I get very busy, and I host the show 7 days a week. So that brings a lot of it to the table too.
Yeah, well, and I got to ask you. I mean, we got to go back to start because obviously,
sure,
we got a lot to talk about. How does one? I don't want to say pursue this as a career path, but I mean, how do you get roped into all this? Because me, I mean, I'm fascinated with supernatural and aliens and, and that type of stuff. But,
sure,
it's one of those, I can passively talk about it. I mean, you professionally talk about this. How does one get kind of roped into this career path or go down that field?
Well, okay, so here's the deal. When I was a kid, I used to love radio. I used to do radio shows in my garage with my little black Kmart tape recorder and my 99-cent tapes. And I loved doing radio. And that fell away. And then when I got older and went off to college, I was hanging around with my buddies. And this is a good ghosty story for you, where my buddies at college are like, Schrader, you got to get out and make other friends, man. You got to meet other people. You've been here 3 weeks. You haven't been out of the house. You go to school, you go to the bar with us, and that's it. Go meet people. So I set out one day to go walk around campus, and this stunning little blonde comes walking by with a ponytail and a 1988 short shorts and T-shirt. And I decided, well, I'll follow her and see where she goes. I bet there's exciting things happening there. And this was long before the advent of stalking, Jim. So it was just trying to get to know the campus. And I followed her across campus, and she went into the Performing Arts Center. And I thought, okay, I like performing arts. I've been in plays. And I followed her up the stairs past the theater rooms, and she'd rounded the corner and went down the hall, and I watched her go through a door. And I walked up to the door, and it said, KQAL 89.5, your radio alternative, now seeking on-air personalities. And I'm like, no kidding. I've always wanted to do radio. So I walked in and was met by all the guys involved at the station there at the time. We had a conversation. Before I knew it, they were signing me up, and I was supposed to start 3 days later as an on-air personality. And at the end of it, I said, hey, where's that blonde that came in here? I was following her in. And they said, what blonde? And I said, there was a cute blonde, ponytail, short shorts, walked in the door 2 minutes before I did. And it was a room full of guys. And they said, Dave, if a beautiful blonde in short shorts came walking through this door, do you think we'd have been talking to you? Nobody came in here. And I'm like, no, I followed her in here. Nope. So that kind of broke me into radio back in 88 through 90. It was a dad, so I had to get into the real world and make money because there wasn't much to be made in radio at the time. My buddy Tim, who's my co-host on Darkness Radio and Beyond the Darkness for the last 13 years, was working for a radio station in 2005 and said, hey, do you want to get together and do a show together on Sunday nights? I have a 1-hour slot to fill. And we launched Darkness Radio. We started doing that, and it grew over the years from a 1 hour every Sunday to 2 hours to 3 hours on each weekend day. And then we went Monday through Friday, the opening show for Coast to Coast in Minneapolis. So we were 9 to midnight every Monday through Friday. And then I started doing Coast to Coast AM for 5 years. So it's just it's been a calling, and I've been following it ever since.
Well, and the funny thing I think about all this is, you know what I mean? Darkness Radio and Midnight in the Desert and things like that. Like, I feel like, this is something like, kids tell ghost stories and you tell them to freak people out, but, there gets a point where you're supposed to outgrow that, right? And it's almost taboo. Like for me to say, hey, I believe in paranormal stuff or, aliens is like, oh, that's taboo. Like you got to grow up at some point, right? And I'm like, no. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, you tell them what that you do and they're like, what? Like kind of give you that look, right?
When this started in 2006, we launched January 1st, 2006. When I started meeting people at that point, it was still that kind of awkward conversation. Yeah. But there were a few paranormal TV shows. Now, you had them on ABC, CBS, NBC, WB, all of these different channels. And then even the Animal Planet and Travel Channel had paranormal shows, Sci-Fi Channel, Discovery Channel, Science Channel. So there was just this wide breadth opened. And it became mainstream, and people weren't afraid to talk about it. And as soon as you uncap that genie, you can't get it back in the bottle. And, back in 2006 when I'd travel and I'd be on the plane and somebody would say, oh, what are you doing? I'm a radio show host. Oh, what kind of show? Paranormal. Oh. And it would either get deathly quiet or they would go, when I was a kid. And then they'd start talking to you about their haunted house or the haunted school or the creepy cemetery by their house. So it just kind of opened up, and now I'm kind of the librarian. I get to keep all these great stories people tell me and share them, and I go out and I explore the world and get a chance to see haunted locations literally around the world and put myself into the story and investigate them for myself.
Yeah, well, and that being said, I mean, we're airing this during Halloween week, right? I got to ask, right. I mean, you've put yourself into probably more situations than 99.9% of the planet, you know what I mean? I guess scary type situations with hauntings or paranormal and things like that. I mean, is there one place or one moment that sticks out in your mind where you're just like, man, it was just like, wow, that, where you were literally just like scared, like, wow, this is really happening?
Well, I'm going to be on Travel Channel on Halloween night as I'm going to be on the Ghost Adventures live Halloween special. And I hooked up with those guys many years ago when their first TV series broke. And they brought me on to do Rolling Hills Asylum out in East Bethany, New York, I think it is. And they brought me in to investigate with them. I'd been there numerous times and it had weird phenomena happen, but they were all excited when they finally brought me in the middle of the night. And they're like, Dave, it's off the hook. And I said, yeah, okay. I didn't want it to turn out that this show is a fake and a fraud and they're just a bunch of hyped up, goofy kids. And we walked into that building, went up to the second story, and suddenly we heard feet running on the level above us. And I said, who's in the next floor? And he said, Dave, that's the roof. We're alone. There's nobody here. And I'm like, get out of here. And as I said that, down the hall, you hear this, and it turns into this loud scream, and we all stopped. And my blood ran cold. I turned and looked. Now, I've got Zach kind of standing in front of me looking down the hall. I've got Aaron Goodwin standing in front of me to my right with his video camera, and behind me is Nick Groff with his video camera on his right shoulder. I turn and pivot to the scream, and over Nick's shoulder is this shock white, absolutely freaky-looking face. It looked like that Pazuzu face that kept flashing on the screen during The Exorcist. You see this white face over his shoulder, and as I open my mouth to scream, it folds back down over his shoulder like it's on a hinge. That was the first pucker moment I've ever really had in the paranormal. I mean, aside from, being a kid and being spooked by shadows from time to time, that was the first real pucker moment I ever had dealing with the ghosts and paranormal, and that wigged me out. And it's in the episode on Rolling Hills Asylum. They caught me reacting to what was taking place. So that was the first time I would say I was legitimately unnerved by what I saw.
Wow. And I got to say, somebody that's put yourself through all of this, I mean, like, I'm a massive horror movie fan, right? There's probably not many horror movies out there that even give you a little bit of a spook, right? At this point, it's probably just fodder, something you watch. I mean,
Sinister, I thought was a great movie. I liked that one. The first Conjuring movie, and even the second Conjuring movie, were really well done horror psychological films. I like when they can get in your head and kind of hit those base instincts of fear. Like kids, when you've got kids and they're being mucked with and blankets are being yanked off and they're being yanked off their beds and they're playing one of their favorite games and then realize that there's nobody else there that they're playing with. The clap is coming from an unknown source. That was a good movie to me, The Conjuring and Conjuring 2 and Sinister. And I like stuff like that where it kind of really makes you think. And I'm excited to watch this new Haunting of Hill House on Netflix because I hear it's a real mind screw and it really creeps you out. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, seeing what I've seen and being in the places I've been, it takes a little bit more to affect me now.
Yeah. So here's a question, and I don't know if you get this a lot or not, but there's a lot of people out there that have been kind of, I know they freak themselves out. They'll be in what they consider haunted houses, things like that. But,
right.
They feel a chill. They think they see something. I know some of them question it. I can't really have seen that. I swear something touched me, but it can't be. I mean, what do you tell people like that?
Well, it depends on the situation. I go into a lot of places, or I used to do a lot of investigations where people would call me in or ask for advice and insight. And I often said, well, why are you afraid? Well, Dave, there's something sight unseen in my house that's making noise. And I said, all right, is it trying to hurt you? Nope. Is it screaming? No, but I can hear it walking. Okay. I said, well, in most cases, maybe it's just them letting you know they're there. And think about the times that you hear it most. Is it in a point when you feel alone or you feel vulnerable or scared? Maybe they're just assuring you you're not alone, and it's just kind of re-examining when people have these experiences. And, in most cases, just talking to them over the phone, I can calm them down and get them over their fear of what they're dealing with. There's not a demon in every cupboard. I have people tell me all the time, oh, I think I have a demon. I'm like, no. If you think, then you definitely are not dealing with a demonic realm. You will know if you run into something truly dark and demonic. So call me when that happens. But most of them will laugh and then proceed to tell me the story, and I can show them, hey, look, if that was really the devil, right, you would really, I doubt you'd even be on the phone with me right now. This thing wouldn't have let you make this phone call. This would happen. I said, maybe it's just an angry ghost or an angry person who's frustrated and has tried to communicate for years. And their frustration level, could you imagine being in a room, seeing people and not being able to talk to them or communicate with them for years? And they're like, yeah. And I said, so, just take it upon that. And now just talk to them politely, kindly, and then just tell them, if you want to communicate, that's fine, but you got to leave my kids alone, leave me alone in the bathroom, whatever your ground rules are. And that's what mine is. Don't bother my kids and don't bother me in the bathroom. If you want to communicate with me any other time, that's fine. Wow. And once people establish that, they start feeling better about it. It's just about empowering yourself again. And I don't know that we're necessarily dealing with real ghosts or we're dealing with slips in time, which is just as an amazing a phenomena as anything I've ever heard. these moments when people may actually be just dealing with kind of almost a version of time travel. And it's really nothing to do with dead people in the common sense of like you drop dead and your ghost leaves and hangs around that house. It's just that where we sit right now, Jim, this exact spot has always existed and will always exist through time. But like layers in a book, it always changes. And there's other people that are there and that will come after us. And, Grant Wilson from the Ghost Hunters TV show just told me a really fascinating story. He said he was at a location. He had an intern investigator with him who was trying to learn the ropes. They walked into a room. They saw the shadow figure walk into the room, walk around them, and stop by the side of the bed and turn and look at them. The new investigator, the intern, said, "Nope, I'm out of here," and took off running. Grant walked around the bed and started swinging his hand through the shadow, trying to see if he could get any sensation. And so they had this weird interaction. Well, he went back a week later with the intern and said, you got to face these fears. If you want to investigate this, let's go look. And he makes the investigator go up to face their fears up in the room by themselves. And the investigator comes down a little bit later and says, the weirdest thing just happened. I walked into the room. There was nothing there. I walked around the bed, and then I heard something, and I turned, and there were 3 shadows standing there by the door frame. One of them turned and ran away. Then the other one walked over by me and started swinging its arm through me. And Grant goes, "Dave, this investigator was explaining exactly what happened after they left the room the week before. They were watching a time loop. We were in a time loop. This was what was going on." And that, to me, was really exciting and interesting, considering what we might actually be dealing with when we think that we're surrounded by ghosts.
Yeah, well, and wasn't there a movie just recently, like a couple of years ago, with was it Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar, I think, that talks about that, where he comes back and he's actually talking to his daughter, and it kind of has to do with that whole time loop thing. And I know there was just a recent study done where they're almost proving, that time travel can exist in some form and things like that. And see, I find this fascinating because I completely agree with you. You know what I mean? I think we've closed ourselves thought wise into this box for so long, and I think that there's so much more out there.
Well, the movie The Others with Nicole Kidman, which is about 10 or 15 years old now, that one really kind of grabbed this concept and ran with it, where to her, the ghosts were the new people living there. Yep. And to the new people living there, they were hearing Nicole Kidman kicking around, and it was just both of them coexisting in different parts of time and in kind of interrupting each other. So who was the real ghost? And that's kind of a great concept to this. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fascinating things to investigate and look into, and all of these great opportunities and people that are out there educating now about it. It's an exciting time to be alive. We're not just stuck in the same old paradigms of beliefs that we used to be. And even the church is coming on. Look, the Vatican and the Pope have come out and said, it's okay to believe in alien life forms and things on other planets. And they're adjusting the way they deal with the supernatural and the paranormal and ETs. So if they're making these changes, I think we're in kind of for a really exciting time in the next 20 years where I think a lot of this is going to start to make sense to us. Science will take a better look at it. And I think we're going to start seeing some understanding of what it is we're really dealing with in most of these cases.
Yeah, well, and I think science is a key there. You can't argue science. And I think as the technology and things like that come a long ways, I think, like you said, the next 15, 20 years, it's going to be amazing to be able to understand what we're dealing with and know actually what's out there.
I agree. Now, with that said, now I'm trying to sound all calm and cool about it. There are times I've gotten really freaked out at the Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center, Minnesota. I did an investigation. There was this room down in the basement called the Door Room. We have a mirror hanging up doing this thing called the Psychomantium experiment, where we're trying to. You're in a very low light setting. You have a candle in front of the mirror. You just kind of let your eyes relax and you let things happen. See what happens. Some people have very profound experiences where they see like kind of visions of dead loved ones appear in the mirror. They'll see themselves age or de-age in the mirror. Others will see smoky or shadow-like figures. We've actually caught some on video. So it's pretty cool. Well, this woman wanted me to go down and do the experiment with her, but you're supposed to do it alone. I eventually gave in and I sat lower behind her. She stood up on the little elevated stage looking into the mirror. And as we're looking in the mirror, this kid's face comes up from the bottom of the oval mirror and looks at both of us. Now, I'm supposed to be the big bad ghost hunter guy, and I'm pinching it and about ready to start crying. I'm like, what the hell am I seeing? And she goes, oh, my God, tell me you see. And I said, the little boy, yeah, I see him. It's cool. Just relax. And then he ducked back down. And I'm trying to collect myself. And I take off my glasses, and I look off into the dark off to my right, and I'm just kind of blinking and letting my eyes relax. So I'm like, that had to be a trick of my eyes. But she saw it too. And then I turn back. She's standing in front of me, and I notice how dark her shadow is behind her. I was like, wow, that's really pronounced. This room is so dark with that little candle. It gives off this kind of 3D effect of this shadow. So I lean forward in my chair to look at the shadow. Now, mind you, my head is about her butt level. So, because she's up on this little dais. And as I do that, the shadow bends towards me while she's still standing upright, bends towards me and looks me in the face and then stands back up behind her. And she saw the shadow move. I saw the shadow, and she's like, can we go now? I said, sure can. And she reached over and turned on the light. That was another one of those, what did I just see moments? And that was absolutely terrifying and exhilarating all at the same time.
Wow. I'm sitting here, and I've got goosebumps just hearing these stories because I'm just like, man, this is this is
yeah,
insane.
I love it. And I love to put myself out there to see these things and have these experiences. And when you can do it in groups, when you know it's not just your eyes playing a trick on you, and other people are witnessing this with you, and they see spirits walk from one side of the room to the other right in front of you, that's exciting, man. That gives us hope that there is so much more to explore, and shows you that the human element of what we are and what we can possibly see and do and experience is such a minute segment of what we're doing now. It's the future, man. I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
Oh, me too. Well, I know we got to go. We got to cut this one short. You and I were talking. I think we definitely got to do like a full-blown podcast because I got so many questions for you. But it's Halloween week. I know you are busy. But before we let you go, where can people find out more information on you, your podcast, and everything you've got going? Because I know after they hear this, they're definitely going to be interested.
The best way to check us out is at darknessradio.com. Darknessradio.com. You can find my Monday through Friday show, Midnight in the Desert. You can find my weekend show, Beyond the Darkness, which is on Podcast One and on iTunes, and our links to our True Crime Tuesday program. All of the links to everything we do, all up at darknessradio.com. And, hey, thanks so much for having me on, and happy Halloween.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave. And thanks for tuning in this week to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Amazing show here with Vision Wheel from the SEMA booth, this Halloween special edition. Thanks to Rob Mack, Keegan Kincaid, Sam Rady, Car Throttle, my good friend Darkness Dave. Make sure and check out his podcast, as well as my co-host, partner in crime, Tiffany Stone. Big shout-out to Vision Wheel for helping make this happen, as well as General Tire, Polaris Razor, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Optimus, MotoShield Pro, GoParts.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino. Don't forget, it's at Jim Beaver 15 on all forms of social media, as well as at Down and Dirty Show on Instagram. I've got that Facebook group. Check it out. Make sure and check out our web content at downanddirtyshow.com, dropping all kinds of motorsports and automotive articles. My other show is Project Action. You can subscribe to that on iTunes, as well as the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Make sure and check both those out. And that coupon code for Dirtfish Rally School, 15% off. Just use the coupon code JBDirtfish, and you'll knock that one out of the park. All right. Thank you, guys. We are going to sign off here from SEMA. I'm going to go do a little trick-or-treating, and then I got to do some TV voiceovers for Lucas Oil later on in the week. Make sure and check out all those TV shows. Drops Tuesdays on MAV TV. So if you don't have enough of me, well, you can get a little bit more of me on the television. So thank you guys once again. Thanks to all the guests, and we will see you next week. Man, I'm getting tongue-tied. Oh, it's been a long SEMA week already. We are just getting things started. Anyways, I'll be back next week. It looks like I'm going to have Top Fuel champ, my boy Steve Torrance, on the line. Alexander Rossi, as he prepares to go off-road racing, changing it up with Team Honda from the IndyCar to the Baja 1000. And we'll also have, I don't know, maybe Rob Mack again, Tiffany Stone. Maybe we'll recap SEMA. We're going to have a ton of fun. You'll want to be there next week on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Thanks a lot. See you then. See you later.